Hello, wonderful people of the internet. Welcome back to another episode of Leos Labs. Henry, Shadow Mishia, Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. Hello, welcome back to another episode. And anyone who might be lurking in chat, hey, thanks for being here. Let me go ahead and open up Zernal PP, and we're going to start, while we're waiting on everyone to get in, with a brief discussion on something that we had yesterday that we've also been talking about a little bit in Discord chat. And I just want to bring it up. So, yesterday, we talked about potentially making a video, which would be Linux user tries Windows for the first time in roughly 15 years, right? Now here's the thing. I think I've decided I'm not gonna make this video. And the reason is because I think what it's gonna lead to is a schism within the community, a fragmentation of sorts, where people, maybe not a lot of people, maybe just like 1, 2, 3% of people, but some people will get angry at this video. Because the truth is, for me, a lot of things about Windows are incredibly unintuitive. And I don't think a full day of me trying to do installations and fixing this and that are going to change my mind on that. And in particular, a lot of people have this notion that Windows is the easiest operating system to use, and I very strongly disagree with that. So because I'm coming in with, essentially a vendetta against Windows, that's not what I have, but with known issues against the operating system. One second, I have to fix some lighting. Sorry, I forgot to turn on the lights. But because I'm coming into the discussion with problems that I know are already issues with Windows, I think it's just not a fair comparison. I don't think I would be able to come in, and even as objective as I try to be, I don't think I'm going to be able to be objective in this conversation and just not piss people off. So for that reason, I'm not going to make the video. The idea of the video was just to kind of show people that there is kind of this weird hypocrisy in the operating system world where, a lot of times people will try Linux and then they'll say, oh, I can't use Linux for this, that, or the other. And then they get really frustrated and they're like, I hate Linux. And then the Linux community is like, oh, well, maybe you try this, maybe you try that, maybe you try this. And for some reason, this idea of trying to show people, hey, this is how you do it, is seen as incredibly toxic. Even though, from my perspective, it's not, but my perspective is also the perspective of Linux users, right? So a lot of times people are like, wow, the Linux community is incredibly toxic. And I'm like, is it though? I feel like they're just retaliating against people who are being kind of mean to them, And even then, it's not even that mean. It's like, hey, read the manual. It's like, here it is. It's right here. It was written specifically for this case. Stuff like that. Or maybe going onto a forum that's like not meant to be beginner friendly. It's not meant to help new users. It's meant to be for a specific piece of software, and creating an issue on GitHub for something that, may not have needed to be there. Like stuff like this. It's like, it's people not understanding the Linux ecosystem. So the point of the video was supposed to be me, who doesn't understand Windows, going in and trying to do the same thing. And I don't think this is something that we should fight fire with. Just because I feel like people are, mistreating other people on my side, doesn't mean I should be mistreating people on their side, right? If I'm really trying to get people to use Linux because I genuinely believe it is, the best operating system in the West, the solution to that is just to use Linux and just to show people that, hey, it's really cool. It's really nice to use. It's incredibly actually intuitive in my mind. And just, talk about it. Just say, I like this. And don't accidentally attack Windows. That's how I feel about it. Hey, Gibbous, by the way, how are you? I think it would be interesting because I have certain perspectives that I think other people don't have. And so to some extent, I think it might be interesting to go through the process of installing Windows 10 or 11 just to see what it's like nowadays. Because again, I haven't really used it since Windows Vista. And even then I didn't really use it. But I don't know. I just wanted to mention that I'm probably not going to be making this video just because it could become toxic. And honestly, it's quite far from the type of content that I actually want to make on my channel. So it'd be basically just a filler episode between big episodes. And I just don't think now's the right time for it, even if I do want to do it in the future. So that's kind of where I'm at there. Emerus, hey. I do want to mention one thing, though. I did post this on Twitter to see if people would want something like this. And someone made the claim that, all of the stuff that I asked to do, all of the things that I wanted to do in Windows would be easy, right? And I had stuff like, one, install Windows, which wasn't hard. Install Windows, which I don't think people realize how hard it is to install Windows. It's actually a little bit more annoying than people think it is. Angel Sora, hey, how are you? 2, set up a dev environment. Okay, I know for a fact this is a pain in the butt, a huge pain in the butt. Getting all the like CUDA, all that kind of stuff working, I think is also a huge pain. Oh, what? It's time to. I'm gonna allow that one. Sorry. Thanks for letting me know that Automod did that. Automod was Automad. Anyway, so set up dev environment. But another one that is deceptively difficult is playing Guild Wars. You might be thinking, I don't understand, why is playing Guild Wars difficult? And it's because the way I play Guild Wars is with a drawing tablet. And there's actually a bug in Guild Wars that doesn't allow you to do this, so I actually work around that in Linux to do it. And there's a few other things that I do specifically in Guild Wars and with the games that I play to make it so I can play them in ways that I enjoy. And so there's like little things like this that are actually deceptively difficult to do. And if I made a video where I was doing that and I was explaining, hey, I use a drawing tablet for these reasons, people would be like, well, I mean, you're complaining about Windows and blah, blah. It's like, come on, like, I don't know. It would end up becoming one of those discussions where people would think that I'm like specifically creating difficult things for Windows to do and then do it on them. Like, I think if I tried to install Windows and I did this, Windows users would come in and be like, why are you trying to set up a dev environment on Windows? Or why are you trying to play Guild Wars that way? Or why are you trying, like, they'll constantly do this. And I'm like, look, man, this is just how I use my computer. Like, I'm not going to try to be that guy who's like, purposely creating difficult tasks for Windows to do. In fact, I try to make it easy on it. But anyway, point is, because of this, because these things are kind of deceptively difficult, I don't feel like it's worth making this video. I feel like people are just going to be mad, and I don't want to make people mad. I never got into WoW or Guild Wars, but I liked Diablo 2. It's weird. So I actually was thinking about maybe doing a little bit of Guild Wars, just a little bit today, because I realized, how I just said that I set up my tablet to work with Guild Wars? I don't think I've done that on this computer because I haven't played Guild Wars yet. I was like, let's do it. I'm kind of excited to do it. I know that sounds really weird, but like, I don't really very much like playing games, but man, I really like setting up environments to play games in. Compiling Wine and like putting in patches and stuff, that's my jam. I really like doing that. I don't know why. It's just been something I've really enjoyed since I was like, I don't know, like 15. I really like the act of just like, compiling Wine, playing the game, checking the FPS, see if you could do better with this or that, and like messing around with things. I don't know. It's fun. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I just enjoy that part of the process. Okay, so let's get on to the actual bulk of today's episode. So what we're going to do first is actually fix... okay, we had a bug in kernel abstractions the other day. So here's kernel abstractions. The bug was basically that we could not convert to an integer type. Before this bug, before it's merged in and finished, I need to basically put a test in to kernel abstractions to make sure that, this remains a non-issue in the future, right? I got halfway done writing the test yesterday. We ran into a bunch of weird bugs, and I said we're going to deal with it today. And so the first thing we're going to do is talk about kernel abstractions. After that, we're going to do some algorithm archive work, an extra A. Then we might do a little bit of Guild Wars, maybe not. I'm 50-50 on that. And then finally, we can get back to research and work on histograms. that's the idea. So we'll start here. This is going to take maybe an hour. This is going to take maybe an hour. This is going to take 30 minutes at best. Maybe longer if we decide we actually want to keep going. And this is going to be the bulk of it, which will hopefully be around 4 hours or something. We'll see. We'll see. But I really want to get some histogram methods implemented, and we'll talk about why in just a bit. Okay. First of all, the bug, the big old bug, the big bad bed bug. What? What am I trying to say? The problem that we had for like 5 days and now it's fixed. Let's talk about it. All right, Control C. I'm going to CD into projects, kernel abstractions. Actually, no, I'm going to CD into projects, Simuleos and the histograms. Let's here, going to VI, minimum example. Okay, so here was the bug. I'm not going to go through all of it like I normally would. I'm just going to explain it on the most cursory level. Essentially, if we were to write a kernel in kernel abstractions, it is going to be executed on both the CPU and GPU, or either the CPU and GPU. It could be executed on any number of platforms. The point is, we write a single kernel. Now, what this kernel is doing is it's grabbing an individual thread known as thread ID, and it's basically saying this is from your global pool of threads, and we're indexing it in a linear fashion. Each thread is essentially a processor, you could think, of your GPU doing something, right? Now, when we execute this on the CPU, everything works fine. On the GPU, it does not. What exactly is this? Well, it's the conversion of an int64 value, which TID is, onto int32, or the conversion of a float value onto integer. On the CPU, everything works fine, but on the GPU, the reason it doesn't work is that if you go deep down into the conversion between a floating point and an integer, or a higher, bit integer to a lower bit integer, there is a truncation error that could happen, right? So if you're going from 64-bit to 32-bit, you have to truncate that in some way. You have to cut the number of bits down somehow. If you're going from floating point to integer, again, you have to find some way to round it or do something like that. This could potentially create something known as an inexact error. So for example, if you're trying to cast 1.2 onto an integer, it doesn't exactly know how you're supposed to round this. So it says, hey, this is an inexact error. We don't know exactly what you want to do with this. So in that case, what do? Well, we allocate a tuple that then one part of the tuple makes sure that the tuple is not an inline statement, and the other one makes sure that it will actually call the right inexact error. Here, let me just show you, Julia, and we're going to do @edit integer of 10, and I'm going to go to 602 here. So this is actually the throw inexact error. It allocates a tuple here at no inline meta, and then throw inexact error here. The problem with this is on the GPU, in order to allocate this tuple, you need to specifically give it the amount of memory it needs to pre-allocate, right? Because you do manual memory management on the GPU. So this ends up becoming a problem. But it's fine on the CPU. It's only a problem on the GPU. So we ran into this error. It took us a few days to solve. We finally solved it by basically overdubbing this, rewriting the throw inexact error. So it basically calls just throw inexact error without this tuple being generated, and it works. But again, we have to write tests to make sure it works in other cases, and that's what we're working on now. So Control D, CD projects, CD back into kernel abstractions, over here, CD projects, kernel abstractions, and yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. It's time to kick gum and chew butt, and I'm all out of butt. I don't know where that's from, by the way. But let's see. I never got into WoW or Guild Wars, but I liked Diablo 2. Yeah, so the truth is, I spent an insane amount of time on Guild Wars. I don't very much like Guild Wars 2, but Guild Wars 1 is like a real-time deck building game or a real-time card game. Super fun. Like, I really enjoy the strategy that comes with it, and the fact that it's in real time, but you still get to, like, make your own deck and stuff like that. It's fun. I think the quote is from 4chan memeing on Duke Nukem. Oh, that's probably fair. I don't know who Duke Nukem is, but I've heard of that name. Okay, so what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I have considered maybe doing like a challenge on Guild Wars, like some like a gaming challenge or something, but the truth is, every single time I think about doing a gaming challenge on Guild Wars or any other game, I just get kind of, it's like, for what purpose? Like, why would you do this when you could do programming, which you enjoy just as much, if not more, than gaming? and you get more done. It's more exciting, you know? So that's kind of where I get kind of in my head about that kind of stuff. Same spirit as the quote about liking Halo and how shooters, aliens, and don't, about how he shoots alien and doesn't afraid of anything. That's a Halo quote. And now I want to play a board game, but I don't have players. Thanks, Leos. I'm so sorry. My wife was watching Big Bang Theory. Now, here's the thing. We're both scientists. When I was younger, I had a friend. Hey, Cosmic, how are you? I had a friend who was convinced that Big Bang Theory was the worst show ever invented on television. They said that the whole purpose of the show is just to make fun of autistic people. And so I never watched Big Bang Theory because from this friend of mine, I just kind of assumed that the show was just kind of making fun of autistic people. I thought that's what it was. I really genuinely thought that that was the point of the show. But then my wife was watching it recently. I was like, well, okay, if she's watching it, it can't be that bad. I'm not going to say it's my favorite show ever, but it's not a bad show by any means. And they were playing they were playing Dungeons and Dragons in the show. And then my wife was like, hey, do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons? I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll play Dungeons and Dragons. But we don't have any friends to play Dungeons and Dragons with. But in principle, it is something that might happen in the future, and I'm kind of excited for it. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons in a while, and the truth is, if you're going to play it, you have to play it with the right group of people. You just have to have the right people, and it's hard to find that group, you know? I'm fine. I keep playing that one bad idle game. What about y'all? I'm still doing the same error I was trying to fix yesterday. Sheldon is a bad autistic model, but yeah, the show is okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. If I'm honest, I don't know. I don't know enough about any of this, right? I don't know what's even considered a joke, really, in the show. Sometimes it's just people are laughing for a reason. I'm like, I don't really understand what the joke is here, but maybe it's fine, you know? Let's see. And you need more regular times. Yeah, you need more regular times to play it for Dungeons and Dragons. I have autism, and honestly, Big Bang Theory is more just crap than bigoted. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I mean, look, they're making fun of people like me and my wife. That's the truth. They're making fun of physicists who have bad social interaction skills. That is me and my wife. So, like, the fact that, you know, she enjoys it, it's fine. It's something to put on in the background. I really can't tell you if it's any better or worse than any other shows because I just don't watch television and I don't really watch YouTube. So it's like, it's fine. Like, it's okay. It's a good show, I guess. So for me, it's like, fine. I don't have any negative reactions to it. I guess what got me, though, was that the person who said it was, like, you know, incredibly bad and making fun of autistic people, like, I trusted this person a lot. They were one of my best friends. And so now I'm wondering if there were, like, a whole bunch of other things that might have been a little bit overblown, or if maybe I've just changed and now I'm, like, more, like, I don't know, like, I'm like, now I'm making fun of people of different, you know what I mean? Like, now I'm afraid I might be a bit, you know, accidentally making fun of people when I don't mean to, you know? Ordinal Markup is, like, the longest, boringest idle game. Too idle for even idle games. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, because I don't really want to talk about this ableism and stuff like that. I just want to talk about this at this point. I don't think it's worth talking about here on stream. I'm going to move on to another topic. I'm sorry, Big Bang Theory came up because, you know, I was thinking about board games, and I was thinking about Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't know, for some reason Big Bang Theory came up. I think you become racist by failing to be sufficiently woke. Right, anyway, I'm autistic too, and I find Big Bang Theory super fun. Yeah, there you go. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say here or there, but I mean, like, again, my wife and I are definitely types of people who are bad at social interaction. I'm not going to say either of us are necessarily on the autistic spectrum. We haven't been tested for it. I will say we both have tendencies that are a bit, you know, a bit in that way, but I'm not going to, obviously we've never been tested. We can't, like, show anything. I just wanted to say that for us, it's making fun of physicists. We're physicists. I guess it's fine. I watched a couple of seasons and it was fun. Sheldon was more of a butthole than he is autistic, but meh, whatever you like. Right. Again, it's not a show that I would watch regularly, but I don't hate it, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm talking so much about this, because it really doesn't, it's not worth talking about. My point was, I'm interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's my point. Also, anyone heard of incremental games? I have not. What are incremental games? Okay. So we're going to go here, and I'm just going to go into CD test, LS, and we're going to go into VI, compiler, no, convert. So here's what I have right now. I have a set of tests here. Let me go here, that essentially do a couple of different things. So the first thing we do is we test to make sure that we can convert an int64 to an int32 and back again. That's one convert test. And the other one is we have a for loop that goes through all of the different types that we need to convert to, and we do a ceil, floor, and round on all those types to make sure we can use these operations on those types, and then we convert them back to a float64 in this equal sign. So this is float to int to float64. These are the two tests that we have to make sure that all the conversions work. It's like idle games with larger numbers. Hey Meowcat, how are you? I'm playing exponential idle on and off. What is exponential idle? Incremental games are idle games, but it's the preferred name, like how interactive fiction is text adventures. Yay, research. I'm happy to get back into it. I'm actually really excited. We're going to get this done. We're going to work on the algorithm archive and then finally get back to doing like histograms and stuff like that. I'm incredibly excited for it. I'm okay. How are you? I'm doing pretty well, actually. This morning we finally signed up for healthcare in Barcelona. We opted to do, so I don't know if this is illegal or not, but we have a public plan, but we also opted to do private insurance as well. I'm not really sure how this works, but I think that's fine. I think you have to get public insurance, and I think we optionally can get private insurance, but that's what we did. And, you know, we walked around, did some shopping, all this kind of stuff. So, I think best incremental game is Universal Paperclips. Must play incremental, I'd say. I don't dispute this. It's worth playing even if you aren't interested in the genre. Oh wait, is incremental Paperclips? No, Paperclips. Isn't that just a like cookie clicker, or am I wrong? I feel like I must be wrong, right? Okay. I'm gonna run this and I'm gonna just take a look at the ARC test. Alice here. I'm gonna actually modify this as well, so it already uses CUDA and CUDA kernels. Nope. But we're gonna remove that line later. It's just so I don't have to keep typing that into the terminal. Now we're going to do Julia, and we're just going to do include convert.jl. This should load everything, and then I'm just going to run it with a CUDA device. Well, I'm going to run it first on the CPU to make sure it works, and then we're going to run it on the GPU. So let's do convert test suite, and I'm going to run CPU with array. Okay, give it a second and see what happens. Incremental games are clicker games without clicking. Oh, interesting. So this is stuff I didn't know. CUDA device. Let's go to cuArray. Leo's Universe of Paperclips is an adaptation of the famous AI thought experiment. If you commanded a generally intelligent AI to make as many paperclips as possible, what would it do? Interesting. I didn't know that was a famous experiment, if I'm being honest. You play as the AI. Okay. Good. So we have an error, and we're going to take a look at that error. So I'm going to do one more thing just so we have some sort of visual flair on screen. I'm going to cd into projects, flamify, Alice here, mirage check.png, something like that. I'm going to put this up here. I don't know, like that? No, that's wrong. I'm wrong. Don't mind me. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Over here should be fine. I think that's right. Yeah, perfect. Move this down. There we go. All right, I did that for two reasons. The first is that recently I've been doing this thing where I make the terminal with the compilation instructions huge every now and again. And so I thought it would be nice to get back to that workflow. Wait, perfect, okay. So we're gonna make this huge, and let's just scroll up. What do we have? And convert all mass in the universe into paperclips. No, I've heard that. You don't have to spoil that. I've definitely heard people doing that before in paperclips. That's what I thought experiment posits anyway. Interesting. Okay, I've heard of this anyway. Okay, so this is currently failing. I gotta be honest, this particular error message is nigh impossible. Very difficult to read. So I'm going to try it again. But this time I'm going to try one more thing. So my suspicion is that it doesn't like this for loop or one of the types inside of this for loop. So we're just going to do for t in, and I'm just going to do int 8. And we're going to comment this guy out over here and this guy out over here. And we're just going to give it a go. Control C, Control D, Julia, include, and we're going to try it one more time. I eat compiler errors for breakfast. Wow. It's part of the healthy, you know, like You've got Frosted Flakes, you got Honey Nut Cheerios, and you've got compiler errors. It's like right there on the breakfast aisle. But ordinal markup is like much longer and more boring than universal paperclips. The game is about increasing your transfinite ordinal through various upgrades. Okay, I'm going to ask something really dumb here. Something that I should know, but I definitely don't. What is a transfinite ordinal? So a lot of people have been mentioning ordinal numbers as something that I should know, and it's something I don't know anything about. Like, I don't know why. Like, I mean, I was having this discussion again with my wife the other day. Like, best. Anyway, I was having this discussion with my wife the other day about string theory and stuff. I might have even mentioned it here on stream. Like, I went through the entirety of my undergraduate in physics and PhD in physics without ever learning anything about general relativity, string theory, any of this stuff. Never touched it, And so there's all these things that like mathematicians know that I should know, but I don't, Basically natural numbers, but expanded beyond infinity. Interesting. Ordinal and cardinals are the extension of numbers past infinity. Interesting. So this is stuff maybe I should know about, but I definitely don't know about. So now I'm going to try int16. And we're just going to keep doing this until it breaks, I think. All right, write this, go over here, Control D, Julia. But once this test is done, we're going to put it as a PR to kernel abstractions and go from there. So how do you extend numbers past infinity? Feel free to send me a text. I'll feel free to read it. Ordinal numbers are numbers that you use for ordering things such as zeroth, first, and second, etc. Oh, interesting. I actually learned Veblen's extended hierarchy and basic Buchholz-Psi. I don't know what that is. There are two conditions because what count do I get if I count each in order? And how many are there? Stop being the same past infinity. I actually don't know where that error came from, so I'm just trying something else differently. Let me reread that sentence because I might not have understood it. Give me a second. There are two extensions because what count do I get if I count each in order, and how many are there? Stop being the same past infinity. Oh, I see. Interesting. I actually wrote a text file explaining ordinals, what freak they are on my old computer. Interesting. Oh, I see what you're saying. The files are on your old computer. The first transfinite ordinal is the one that comes after all the natural numbers. That's not a flashpoint, so I'm going to archive that later. Wait, what? Did I miss something? Okay, also, this is definitely breaking. Let me try going back to just one. Let's see if int16 works. Because it could just be it doesn't like this for loop. That might be it. I might just have to unroll the loop, and that might be what we have to do. And you guys are just going to have to deal with bad-looking code. That might be how we have to do it. Really recommend to not play ordinal markup. Looks like a typo, but I'm not sure it isn't. Wait, where's the question mark? Is there a question mark? Did I screw something up? 1 second. So we're going to try convert test again. I'm convinced it's the for loop. I'm convinced that's the issue. I think inlining the for loop might be the issue. Somehow. I don't fully understand why, but that's my guess. Yeah, let's just give this a second to run, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, so I have a weird, the Julia splash screen thing. Oh, right here. Yeah. That might be a typo. Oh, no, it's for package help specifically, right? So if you want help on a package, you first go into the package manager and then type question mark. If you want help in general, just type question mark. Okay, that passed with only one argument, but the moment you iterate through two numbers, it fails. Let me try this again with uint8 and see if that works, or uint16 maybe. Okay, now we're gonna do Control D, Julia, include, and try it one more time. Okay, so I don't like this, but I might just have to unroll all the loops, and that's just what I have to do. And just say, look, I tried putting this all into a loop, it doesn't work. And I'm just going to put a comment there and just say, look, I tried it. It didn't work. If you want, we can, try to put it in a for loop, but that's your job. Not mine. I actually can explain transfinite ordinals below phi w0, but I think it's better to do it on Discord. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know if I'm even going to follow it here in chat. I really recommend not to play ordinal lookup. So I'm just going to check to make sure the unsigned integers also work. And then I'm just gonna unroll the loop. That's what I'm gonna do. You guys are gonna have to deal with it. Yep, I'm unrolling the loop, and I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay. Can I just do? I don't know why this doesn't work though. Why can't I just iterate through? Okay, let me see if I can find the error. Just print t. Yeah. Can I? Let's try that. At print. All right, and let's do, see what happens. So we're gonna do include. No, we're gonna do Control D, Julia, include, and let's see what printing T does. Give it a second. Sorry, I hate that I have to precompile this every time. I wish I didn't have to, but it is what it is. Okay, let me get a little bit more water. I mean, it is a rocket science after psi e. So the truth is, I don't even know what psi is, or what e is. Is e the natural? E must be e raised to the w plus 1. So I don't know what psi or w are in that expression. So QPrint does not support values of type. So if I do, so I can't print it because it doesn't allow me to print a type, apparently. That sounds like a problem with the print statement. Probably should allow for a type, shouldn't it? Anyway, how do I do, can I just do type of t? Would that work? Type of int64. Data type. No, that's not gonna work at all. Can I convert it to a string? What happens if I do int64? That obviously t is equal to int64. And if I do string of int64, let's try that. Okay, try that again. Control D, Julia, include, and then convert test suite. Yeah, so it's using QPrint in the back end. Can you take it out of the kernel? No, well, I don't think that's going to help anything because the kernel is currently the problem. I can do it in the terminal really quick if you want, but we did it in the terminal yesterday and it seemed to be fine. Where are we? I'm on the site. Why does the tenon not increase? Go to the options, press save, reload the page, play. Okay. It does not support non-literal strings. Okay. Oh, now we get an error. What's the error here? The error is probably too big. Yeah, the error is definitely too big. Okay, yep, that's impossible. Unsupported call through a literal pointer. So that's not going to work. All right, let me try one more thing. I'm just going to do this in the terminal, in the REPL over here. Oh gosh, come on. Oh, come on. Screw it. There we go. Enter. Nope, not enter. Enter here. And we're just going to do print line t and okay, so this just prints out all the types. Yeah, so I'm running it on the CPU and that's what it does. It just prints out all the types. Were you looking at a specific type, like in particular? I can do this the same. So for t in int 32 print line of t end. Yeah, so it just prints a single type. At show t. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I can do this. I don't think I've ever used at show t. Okay. So, also my condolences for merely loading the game of endless grind and uninteresting mechanics. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's every game, you know? So can I, maybe if I do an at unroll. You know what? Let me try an at unroll. Why not? Yeah, let's try add unroll. Include convert. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? At unroll doesn't work? Meh. Yeah, okay. I thought at unroll did exist, but apparently it doesn't. Oh no. At unroll. At uniform. Can you just? No. Let me try unrolling loops, kernel abstractions. I really genuinely thought unroll macro at unroll expression. What? It's there. Wow. Okay, so if I do kernel abstractions dot extras dot loop info dot at unroll Weird. Let me just try putting the whole thing in here and see if that calls. But you do it on the for loop and not the expression. Is for an expression? I thought we could do it on a for loop. Maybe I haven't seen this actually used. So at unroll expression, but the for loop should count as an expression. Takes a for loop as an expression and informs the LLVM unroller to fully unroll it if it is safe to do so, and the loop counts as known. Okay. Let me just try putting the full guy in here. So kernel abstractions, loop unroll this guy. I don't like it, but I mean, let me just see if it works. Control D, Julia include. It's probably going to break it the same way. It's probably going to say, you don't have, oh, it included this time, which is something. So now we do convert test suite, or maybe it broke on this step. Because if the at enroll works, I'm just going to say, if the at unroll works, screw it, that's what we're doing. I'm not going to worry about it. Something wrong with the for loop. It does not support. Oh, that's cuprint. That's fine. It's not a problem. It just means we can't print. Okay, that's fine. What's this issue? Unsupported dynamic function invocation overdub. This genuinely doesn't help at all. Convert.jl line 13. It's fine. Let's see. Something wrong. Some 6 wrong with the for loop. Yeah. Let's see. It's not showing scientific notation to you. Be ready for jumping site. Okay. So it is kind of a shame that I can't do this. Troll? Wait, what are we trolling here? Oh, you're I'm sorry. Okay. So what do we have? Screw it. I really genuinely think I'm just gonna unroll the loop on my own. Like that's just what I'm gonna do. I know it says cuprint doesn't support this, so let's just try without the print. Can you do @show t? I don't think I can. I can try. Like in the loop. I don't think that exists in kernel abstractions. I mean, I was the one that did the printing in kernel abstractions, so I mean, unless they changed something, I'm pretty sure you can't just do @show, but maybe it works. Let's try it. Again, so I was the one that added the @print macro to kernel abstractions to begin with. So again, I'd be surprised if @show works. I mean, maybe it does now. Yeah, maybe it does. I don't know. Let's give it a second. Actually, I don't remember why we had to turn it into a macro. We probably could have just made it print line or something. I'm actually trolling Leos by making him think I troll someone else. That's fair. This is going to give us, I think it's the same error as before. Let me try just doing a single entry. Go over here, Control C, Control D, Julia, include, and then we're going to do the convert. Convert test suite or whatever. Okay, convert test suite here. I mean, if @show works, I mean, that's quite surprising, but fine. Yeah, right, like, that's on me. Give it a second. Yeah, okay. And the issue is... I got exception outside of test. Oh, what's the issue now? Oh, is that because I didn't have a comma? Control C, Control D. Julia, include. Try it one more time with convert. All right, one more time. Okay, convert. Test suite. I mean, maybe it works now. If it works, then I don't know how it works, but it works. So that's good. Yeah, I think actually, if I remember back, after I added the at print statement, I think at show was maybe added back in. Let me see, what's this error? This error is, oh no, not this again. Called to overdub. This is on line 16. Yeah, so it's at the at show. I mean, I can put it up here just to be safe. So if I do, just to make sure it's an at show problem. At show TID, but I'm pretty sure that's the issue. Control D, Julia, include, and then convert test suite. I wonder how many pages it is if you print it. Oh, it's probably like 20 pages. It's insane, probably. So let's do convert test suite. Give it a second, and yeah, go from there. You know, a long time ago, like back when I was learning to code, I was one of those people that printed out my code and like literally annotated it on paper. I still did that throughout my PhD every now and again. Like sometimes it was nice to just have like a physical copy of the code and just like look at it. It's gonna be online. Oh gosh, what is this? It's gonna be online. Show IO buffer is the error. And so we're call through a literal pointer. Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm literally just unrolling the loop manually, and I'm just gonna do it that way. It's fine. I'm really genuinely not. You know, the person who will look at the review will be like, "Why didn't you put this in a for loop?" I'm like, "Fine. If you want to put it in a for loop, put it in a for loop." You know, I can't figure it out. I genuinely couldn't. Okay, or maybe I actually upload this and I say, "Hey, this is currently not working, but I think it should work." And I don't understand why it's not working. So if you could help me out here, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll just, push a version that's just with everything unrolled. So actually, I might put 2 commits in, is what I might do. So because I think this version should be the correct version, I think. And it works on the CPU. And so I'll commit this, and I'll commit the next one right on top of it and say I can squash them, and stuff like that in a second. So git branch. Let's just run this. And add it to the run tests. So we have test suite. So now we're going to go into VI test suite and say, hey, I want this to work. I don't really know how to get it to work. Hey, Fortuitous Lover, how are you? Wait, what's going on? Wrong emote? How did that not work? 1 second. Did the emotes change in name? Here. Chat. What? I guess because it's not all caps? Interesting. Okay. We want to include, I guess, convert.jl. And then let's see, local mem test suite. And I think I'm just going to put it somewhere in here. So I'm going to grab yank through yank. Where's the print? Sure. I guess we also need if the backend string is not equal to ROCM. So maybe we just paste this down here at private, and we're gonna do convert. And let's see here, we're gonna do private test suite, backend AT, and this is gonna be the convert test suite. Something like that should be fine. Maybe I should put it in alphabetical order, but I'm not exactly sure how it has to be. It has to be all uppercase, all caps. That's fair. I need to change it to Laos Labs, but I haven't decided how I want to change that. Also, I realize that ordinals are practically useless, only used for hierarchies and probably proving strength of set theories, I think. Okay, I don't know. Let's do git add, git status dot, git add dot, git commit, -m, adding working test for the CPU, git status again, git branch, git push, origin convert fixes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna manually enroll the loops and say, look, I tried this, it didn't work. I can revert it if you can figure out a way to get the for loops to work. Otherwise, whatever, it's fine. We do have a bunch of unrolled loops, who cares? Okay, so at least we didn't get rid of it, right? So here I'm just gonna do t equals int 8. And we're gonna do yank 3 yank, paste in here. All right, so we're just gonna do that a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yank, 5 yank, int 8, int 16, int 32, int 64, uint 8, uint 16, uint 32, uint 64. And just to make sure these are actually the correct things, let me just go over here, control CD, and we're just gonna do diff, git diff dot. Let me save this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 128. Oh, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll do 128 as well. Paste. Paste. I hate doing this. I hate doing this so much, but it's like, screw it. It is what it is. This needs to change to 16. This needs to change to 32. This needs to change to 64. This needs to change to 128. All right, so now we have to add a U in front of all these guys. U, 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 U. All right, and let's modify all these guys. So 16, 32, 64, that's a 5, and then 128. All right, let's see if it actually works on the GPU. Look, man, I'm tired. I don't care. Let's just get this working. Say, look, it's a test. I had to unroll the loop for some reason to get it to work on the GPU. I don't understand why. If you can figure out how to get the previous commit to work, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm just gonna rebase these guys and squash these guys and use them. That's what I'm gonna say. Let me do a quick Julia. And now we're gonna do include. Let me write this really quick. Convert.jl. Let's try it. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. Oh, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. Okay. So now we're going to do convert test suite on the CUDA device. Hopefully this works. And then we'll run it again on the CPU. Make sure that works as well. And I'm also going to mention, I don't know if we should have excluded it for ROC or not. Probably we should have excluded it on ROC. Give this a second to do its thing. And then the two things I need to mention are, 1, I'm actually not sure if we should exclude this for the ROC, and 2, unfortunately, I had to unroll the loop. If you want to see, what it looked like before, go to the previous commit. I want to get this to work, but I can't quite figure it out. And I don't think it's worth spending too much more time on. No joke, the game glitched, and the right part of the equation, including the equal sign, have vanished. Wait, what? oh, you're talking about, okay, so the test passed. We're good to go. Let's go here, and let's go. It's going to do write and quit, git add, convert.jl, git commit, -m, adding working test for GPU as well. All right, let's do git push, origin, and then you put that in instead of the real text. Lorem ipsum is a meaningless sentence used to test typesetting and other visual designs, involves a block text. Yeah, I've seen it before for LaTeX and stuff. Origin and convert fixes. Okay, I'll go ahead and put this on GitHub. So let's go to github.com. Okay, we're gonna go to kernel abstractions, and then we will go to pull requests here. Okay, so I pushed 2 commits here. I tried a bunch of different ways of iterating through the types. All of them were, such as one shown in the previous commit, but also just sending a bunch of types in via a coup array, and using TID to in parallel. Honestly, none of them worked on the GPU, so I just manually unrolled everything. I gotta be honest, I don't think it's worth messing with this to make it that pretty. But if you want to try to get the loops to work, feel free. Okay, I pushed 2 commits here. I tried a bunch of different ways of iterating through the types, such as the one shown in the previous commit, but also just sending a bunch of types in via coup-array and using TID in parallel. Honestly, none of them worked on the GPU, so I just manually unrolled everything. I don't think it's worth messing with this to make it I don't think it's worth messing with this code to make it that pretty. But if you want to try to get the loops to work, feel free. Also, should we have excluded this from ROC for the test suites? I have not been able to test this on AMD, but I would guess it would work as well. All right, comment. Okay, that was way too much work for something that is ultimately not that important. Obviously, we'll squash and merge, or not squash and merge, but we'll squash and rebase and all that kind of stuff in a bit. Let me go ahead and catch up on chat. You put that instead of the real text. I opened up the dev tools. I'm cheating. You will most likely fail because code sucks. I mean, if you're talking to me, that's probably true. Okay. I tried to restore progress and got infinite errors. I'm actually out of water. I'm going to be back in just a minute. Then we're going to do some algorithm archive PRs. And then we're going to get started with the other things. So let's do algorithm archive first, and then we'll get started on other things. I might want to do some Linux Rice. I don't know. We'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, give me just a minute. I'll be right back. Wait a minute here. Let me just read up on chat. So I hear that Cosmic47 wants me to specifically type everything I say in chat, or he's unsubbing. So, wait. Oh, wait 1 second. You don't even see what I'm doing. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry. I can't go any further than that. Okay, so next we're going to work on algorithm archive work. So let's go here. Let's go to default. Move this down a little bit. Oh, and let's get some PRs merged for the algorithm archive. Then I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I haven't decided doing what, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time before working on the histograms, just because I think the histograms are going to take some time, and I'm going to have to like reorient myself to get focused on that. So let me get a little bit more water. I'm super thirsty today for some reason. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to hop over here, go to github.com, and algorithm archive. Okay, so we're going to come back to the algorithm archive in a few hours to talk about some other things, like, for example, the logo redesign and stuff like that. For now, we're just going to tackle a few issues that we can tackle right now. Citation.cff file, we'll open that up, see what further discussion happened since yesterday. But in particular, I think we're ready to go ahead and merge the tree traversal output standardization. I think. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now, get that guy merged, and then I'm actually, yeah, we'll get this guy merged, we'll take a look at the citation.cff file, and go from there. So here we go here, and let's go. CD projects, simulate, projects algorithm archive, here, over here, CD projects algorithm archive, and let me just go ahead and do git branch, git pull, origin, this guy, upstream probably this guy. Okay, thank you. I really hope you haven't said anything other than that while I was away. I promise, I said nothing other than that. No words have come from my mouth outside of those words that I typed in chat. It has been a very quiet stream, but now that you're back, I'm talking. So, you can't, just don't look at the VOD. Okay, give this a second. I couldn't find, okay, fine. I love this stream. Also, I've obtained my ordinal explanation text file. Oh, cool. I mean, send it here. I probably won't look at it in stream, but definitely send it to GitHub. Oh, sorry, to Discord. Here, we go there. Sure, seems good. Now let me do a quick npm run serve. And then I think I can just squash and merge, and hopefully it works out. We'll see. So, right, for those of you guys who were not here yesterday, and you might not know the issue with this PR, essentially what this is doing is it's standardizing the output for tree traversal, which is one of the very first chapters we put into the algorithm archive. The problem was, in doing all the Git magic to make this work out, we ran into an issue where essentially we accidentally merged when we were supposed to rebase, leading to there being 86 files changed, when a lot of them are not necessarily what were changed. So what I need to do is a git rebase or something. A squash will do as well, but what I need to do is check to make sure that all the files are actually what they're supposed to be, and then good to go from there. Done. Cool. So let's go to Discord. Oh, also, if you haven't already, please put on sunglasses for anyone who might want to know. I use a light theme on Discord. Okay, so feel free to go here to create invite link, copy, paste. There we go. Here's the Discord in case people want to go there. And now we're going back. 1 second, back over here, and that's it. Okay. I explained stuff to Z, not, I think. Yeah, actually, I'm quite interested in looking at that, but again, not right now on stream, but later tonight. Okay. So let me go to the local host, and let's just check all of this. I think it's all fine. So we're gonna go down to tree traversal down here, and we're just gonna double check everything. So I'm gonna hop way down here to the bottom of the, I'm not gonna hop anywhere. I'm gonna scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and we're just gonna take a look. So this is gonna first I'm gonna look at the, okay, so it looks correct for Coconut, it looks correct for Julia. So let's just go through each of them. C#, It looks, ooh, C sharp is a language, isn't it? We're gonna do C. Oh, that was C. Now we're going C sharp. Oh, come on. Stop that. Stop being it. Okay, so then we have right line, should be fine. C++. Again, fine. Coconut, we just checked. Coconut was fine. Common Lisp, again, fine. Crystal, fine. Emoji code. Emoji code might not be fine, but I guess we're not going to care about emoji code. Won't squashing discredit the original authors of the commit? It shouldn't. What squashing should do is put everything into a single commit that's put on top of everything else. So instead of merging in, we're going to squash and then merge, which I think should create a single commit that is put on top of everything else. I think that'll fix it. I've gone full retail brain, playing Papa's Cheeseria. Sometimes when putting lettuce shreds on sandwich, I identify the correct ingredient as, quote, this stuff. That's fair. Go here. Yep. I'm just double checking all the languages just to make sure they're fine. They should be. Yep. Java should be fine now. Yes. JavaScript. Okay. Yep. Julia, again, we checked yesterday. That was fine. Perfect. MATLAB, I don't care about. And is one of the ones that is not fixed. PHP seems fine. Python, again, seems fine. Rust, fine. Scratch is not fine. Smalltalk is... I don't know. Is Smalltalk okay? I don't know. We'll have to check Smalltalk. Swift and x86-64 assembly. So the languages that were not okay were MATLAB, Smalltalk, Scratch, and emoji code. And I'm just going to go ahead and mention that here, just to say, but I think we're happy to merge. So everything looks good. I just need to mention that, just to say that it was mentioned. So I'm happy to merge this guy. I think we're happy to merge this guy. Oh, I hope nothing happens. Like, we'll see. By the way, oh yeah, we'll just see how this goes. Wait, what happened? Emma said the squash code. That was, I can't type anymore. I wanted to mention that there seem to be 4 languages that are not up to date. And that would be MATLAB, Smalltalk. What else was there? There was MATLAB, there was Smalltalk, and then there was wait, it should be one commit because we're squashing it specifically onto one commit. Smalltalk, Scratch, and what was the other one? Smalltalk, Scratch, and oh gosh, there was one other. What was? Oh, emoji code. I think Scratch can be scratched off the list. Am I right? I don't know. I just want to mention it. I'm so sorry. They're not visibly directing, but they can be seen within the reflog. Okay, so just to be clear, I should be able to. I got the whole stream laughing, I'm sure. Okay, let's just. Anyway, I'm happy to squash and merge for now. No matter the case, this is a good step, and I am happy to merge. As long as we squash and merge, it should be fine. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So we're gonna do this, that. We're gonna comment there, just so there is a comment. I'm going to approve the pull request, and then we're gonna try to see what happens if we squash and merge. The worst case scenario, we're gonna have to, revert, which is not gonna be great, but we'll figure it out. So we're gonna do files changed. What's happening? Come on, there we go. Okay, come on. Review changes. What is going on? Hello? Is my internet down? No, I'm not gonna ping Google. What am I doing? No, my internet's still up. What is going on here? Why is this not loading? Is GitHub down? Okay. I don't know what happened. All right, I'm going to review changes. I'm going to say, why is this so slow? Holy cow. Approve. Genuinely speaking, there's something going on. I don't know what the problem is. I might just restart my browser. Is something... Let me go to top. Sorry, htop. Let me check. I mean, nothing's really going wrong with my cores. I don't know what's going on. The whole browser is lagging for some reason. The commit history is not clean, but a squash. But we'll do a squash and merge. Oops, sorry, Leos. I accidentally turned on my Russian hacks. Okay, should be fixed in a few weeks. Don't worry. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. All right, we're gonna do. Okay, what do you guys think? Should we squash and merge? Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Again, we're gonna come back to the algorithm archive in probably 2 hours. The reason I want it to be 2 hours is that Nick and a few other people who are in the US can usually join in a few hours. So I think it's good to wait until they're here to talk about like logos and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted to get a PR done. Yeah. So I'm gonna squash and merge this guy. Create a merge commit, squash and merge. Oh, this commit history is awful. It's everyone has taken part in this. Okay, squash and merge. Oh gosh. Okay, let's take a look at the commit history. All right, we're gonna go to algorithm archive here. Go there and let's take a look at the latest commit here. It has 14 authors. Oops. Might be a bit of a problem. And let's go to 970 commit. It happens. Look, it happens. I'm making fun of this, but it happens. This isn't something that like genuinely happens all the time. We're trying to keep it from happening. We changed things yesterday so it won't happen again. But genuinely speaking, I've done this more times than I can count. I did it just the other day. You saw it on stream when I accidentally did the same thing. It's not. It's fine. It's just it happens. It's not. It's like it's not a problem. Okay. So I'm going to take a break, actually, for a second. I'm going to actually change topics a bit, I think. And after all of the discussion with Linux and Windows at the start of today's stream, I kind of wanted to set up my Guild Wars. I kind of want to set up to play Guild Wars again. I'm not going to actually play it on stream. I just want to get all the setup stuff done to play it on stream in the case that I wanted to do it in the future. I don't know why all of a sudden I want to do this. I just, for some reason, am in the mood to do it. So I'm going to do it. And you guys if you guys don't want to watch me get everything set up, play a little bit of Guild Wars, fine. That's totally fine. In fact, I'm encouraging you, if you don't want to see that, just to come back in like 30 minutes. I just wanted to pop on over there, get things done, and pop back. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Sorry about that. Wait, what is that? 1 million subs instantly from playing Universal Paperclips? Well, with that, like, I have to do it, right? I mean, 1 million subs. I mean, you got to do it. 1 million subs. That's enough to pay for, like, a lot of people to do really good research. So, like, if I could get 1 million subs, like, that's the thing. Like, if you can get 1 million subs doing anything, like, do it. Because you can pay for, like, so many people to work for you and to like, genuinely make good content. Whether that be research or something else. Okay. So I am going to be changing topics. We're going to switch to Guild Wars, and then we're going to switch right back to doing actual research. I'm incredibly excited to do research, but I do, for some reason, I'm like really interested in getting the Guild Wars setup done today, just to show people what it's like. So I'm going to edit stream info. We're going to hop over there and hop back. Research is good, but maybe a jet ski would be nice. To be fair, I don't really care about jet skis. Like, my family has a jet ski. Because they actually live on a lake, so they've got a boat and a jet ski. It's not like, look, I mean, it's not like crazy. It's not like a crazy expensive jet ski, but they live on a lake, so they have stuff. I don't really care too much about it. Okay, so Guild Wars set All right, and we're gonna go down here really quick and just say, just popping into Guild Wars for 2 seconds. Popping into Guild Wars for 2 seconds. All right, and then we're gonna change the category. We're gonna change the category to Guild Wars. Guild Wars down here, and save that guy. Okay, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna be Guild Warsing for just a second, guys. I'm so sorry. I just want to. So we had this discussion earlier in stream about Windows versus Linux, and there was one particular thing that I mentioned that I thought would actually be really difficult to do on Windows, and that was play Guild Wars. And what I want to do is kind of describe why this is a difficult thing to do. And before stream fills with confused Guild Wars gamers, check the Guild Wars category. I bet there's no one there. I bet I'm the only one on the Guild Wars category right now. In fact, let's check. Let's check right now. Twitch, I say that. There might be other people. I'm being a bit. Let's go to following, and then we go to categories, and let's go to Guild Wars. It has 15 viewers, so there were people. There were people who were on Guild Wars before me. That's correct. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be that guy. I was totally that guy. Let's see. There are others, but you have more viewers than the rest combined. Yeah, that will drop in a second. Oh, hey, Jeremy, how are you? Or G.A. Goulet. So I do have a question for you before going anywhere. I'm going to hop over here, and I'm going to go to the algorithm archive, and I'm going to ask you something. Do you have... Oh, I don't know why I'm asking this. Do you have an ORCID? Is my question. An ORCID ID. So we're thinking about adding a citation.cff file. And my naive question is how we should do this. Should we make it so like only people with a like ORCID ID should sign up? I know that obviously you have citations. Anyway, it was just something that I was asking, and I pinged you, but you didn't respond on GitHub. I know that GitHub notifications are kind of hard to find, and also I know for a fact that you're incredibly busy right now, so I didn't want to like push you too much, you know. Okay, that's all. Just want to point that in. Okay, so you came at the best time, the absolute best time, because I'm actually going to be playing Guild Wars on stream, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it. For 2 seconds, I just wanted to get everything set up and then go back to my normal content, because I don't know why. We were talking about the difference between Linux and Windows. I can give you a link right now. Here you go. We were talking about the difference between Linux and Windows, and I was saying that, you know, there's a particular problem with Guild Wars that makes it hard to play on Windows and on Linux, actually, but there's a fix on Linux that I don't necessarily know how to do on Windows. Anyway, it's an operating system thing. I don't know why, like, I probably should have just stayed in science and tech, honestly. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to open up Lutris. And I think this will work just fine. Just double click Guild Wars. I feel really embarrassed for doing this, actually. 1 second. Should be fine. Okay, and then we'll just play a character here. No, there is what I need to do. Okay, I'll just play this character for now. Ah, crap. No, what happened? Oh, no. Wait 1 second. I may have already broken it. No, it's working fine. Okay, so we're going to play this character. So this is the bug that I don't know how to fix. I just genuinely don't know how to fix it. Here's my mouse. If I press a left button, it just does this. Like, you know, like this is not how you can't play this. It just spins really, really quickly. So the only solution here is to open up a terminal and do, I think it's CD Projects Utilities where I keep it. Utilities, and then I do /set Wacom relative, which allows me to change the way that the mouse actually works, and then I'm actually able to play the game normally. So that's one of the things that I have to be able to do to play Guild Wars appropriately. The other thing is I actually need to set a keybind, which I don't have right now. So I wanted to do that right now. So the keybind should be so that I can basically press Windows G, and then the Guild Wars screen is put at the appropriate size that it's supposed to be at. But yeah, it's not working right now, so I need to fix that as well. So let's move this down here, move this up here, and find that size, and go ahead and get that keybind settled. That's all I'm doing. No, my Epic 6 Russian hacks already kicking in. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna move this down here and get this keybind set up. Yeah, everyone else is like, wow, look at this amazing gameplay. I'm like, wow, look at me set up my computer to play a game. I should be able to move this down here. Oh man, it's kind of a bit Anyway, I'll worry about that in a second. So next thing I want to do is open up, what am I going to open up? OB key and change the hotkey, Super G here. I need to figure out the new width and height. So this is going to be, this is a gaming stream now. We're definitely doing a gaming stream now. I switched to Guild Wars. We're doing a gaming stream. That's what we're doing today. Super excited. Do you want me to do like the whole like, welcome to Guild Wars amazing? I don't know. I'm bad at this type of stuff, guys. I have no idea. Okay. How am I going to do this? How do I find the size and width of it? Like, how do I find the, how big is this guy? Can I move it around? Oh, wait. It's 0, 0. And then if I move it over here, it is, 1 second, 1296. And then if I bring it down here, 1296. And then what's down here? It is going to be 900. 1296, remember that. 1296 and then 900. 1 second. Where'd it go? Oh, crap. Here? No. Wait, where is it? I just had it. OB key. So it's 1296 over here. So 1296 and then 900 or something like that. 900. And then we're going to do save that and see if this actually works. So now if I type in this G, okay, put Guild Wars in the appropriate box. It looks like it's perfectly in there. And then the only other thing I have to do, I think, is go to OBS. No, I think this is actually fine for now. I mean, look, the problem with this is that it's in windowed mode. So you have to do a few other changes. But ultimately, it's fine, I think. I think this will work okay. Right, so the other cool thing that I do to make it so I can play games is I open up a program called Easy Stroke. Here. Error loading shared libraries. Oh, no! Okay, let's fix that. Okay, so yay-s Easy Stroke. I obviously have not played this game in a very long time. Yes. Packages to clean, none. Disk to show, none. Let's go. Yep. And I'll set this up. So I just want to show you guys, like, back when I did play this game very regularly, this is how I used to play it. So, okay, give it a second to do all the building, and now I should be able to run Easy Stroke. Oh, no, you're kidding me. LibBoost serialization. How do I fix this? Let's just go here and figure this out. What the heck is Leos cheating? I'm definitely cheating. That's what I'm doing right now. Error while loading shared library. Cannot open file. So let's find LibBoost serialization SO. That's what I'm looking for. Maybe I just have to do a Pacman SYU or something, but let's figure this out. Look for this guy, that guy. Ah, man, I feel a bit, I don't know. LibBoost? It's weird that we have to use boost. Latest exposed in 160p because my internet sucks. Gotta go. See you, Fortuitous Lover. I'm gonna be back doing histograms and stuff in like 30 minutes. I just wanted to get this set up because I don't know. We were talking about Linux and Windows, and I was like, oh, let's do it. Like, why not? Okay. So, what's the issue? Error while loading shared libraries. LibBoost serialization cannot open shared file. Do I just have to re-download Boost? Sudo pacman syy. Make this huge so everyone can see what I'm doing. And now we're just going to run something. Concept. A Windows user who starts using Linux and replaces the pacman command with a pacman game. I mean, you can actually change the loading like of each, like, you can change the loading to be like Pacman doing like pop, 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 you know, across the screen. Okay, so now I'm going to do sudo pacman -ss libboost. Okay, so now we're going to do sudo pacman -s boost libs. Yep, it looks like it's reinstalling. It's up to date, so that didn't really help. Easy Stroke. I don't have Easy Stroke, so maybe I just don't play the game. Oh, this is like an awful foray into the game too. I feel so bad. Error while loading shared libraries. Libboost serialization.so172 cannot be found. Okay, let's see what we got. Which OS Linux? You probably just need to set LD library path or similar. Let's go over here. C++, let's go there. Open this up in Google. Let's see what we got. Error loading this guy. And let's see what they say. I know I'm just missing something. The libraries are default looked for in lib, user lib bin. I guess I can just add it in. I know that it's the same old one, but you can run ld config, sudo apt install libboost file system. Well, now that Easy Stroke is broken, I really genuinely don't want to play any games. So what this was it was a way for me to just like basically put in a command on my drawing tablet and have that like, so I could like draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would allow me to like basically put all my skills into the game. But now that it's not working, it's kind of like, do I actually want to do it anymore? Imagine playing Guild Wars player and join the stream and see some guy doing sick hackery in the terminal. I'm not doing any hackering. Literally everything's broken. Yeah, probably someone would come in and be like, oh, look at this guy, he's botting. Oh no, yeah, come on, who cares? No one's gonna say that. I mean, bots are keeping this game alive at this stage. Okay. I don't know why this isn't working. Let me see if I can figure it out. Easy Stroke Get. Maybe we try Easy Stroke Get. See what happens there. What happened? Oh, sorry, yes. There we go. Let's just install that version. Yes. Everything's broken because of your hackery. That's true. It's my hackery that broke it all. None. Yes. Hasn't been updated in ages. Maybe it needs older version of libboost serialization. That could be true. Maybe what we should do is actually update the Easy Stroke, Git version. And like maybe that should be what we do. Like we spend some time updating that. That would be nice. Let's see if this builds. And then we can try to figure out what the error is. That'd be kind of nice. I think that'd be a fun little side project to do today. I say fun little side project, knowing full and well that it's probably code that I can't understand. It would be impossible to figure out. But yeah, I mean, as far as Guild Wars is concerned, I actually did have a few like challenge runs I was thinking about doing. Yes, remove that one. Like for example, I was thinking about playing the game Easy Stroke. Come on. Come on. I know you want to open up. Oh, is it already open? I think it is. Yeah, we got it. Okay, so here's how I normally play the game. I know this sounds really dumb, but usually what I do is is it? Oh, I see. I need to change set Wacom relative again. CD projects utilities, and then we're gonna do set Wacom relative. Okay, so usually the way I play the game is I import commands like so. So I'm gonna go to, I guess, Camadon here. And then, I don't know, I'll just go out here. Oh, it's Halloween. I forgot about that. Oh, speaking of Halloween, should we do something for Halloween or not? Maybe? I don't know. Let me increase the volume on my end. Okay. I thought about doing something for Halloween, but I genuinely don't know what I'd want to do. Black orange terminal. Yeah, that's it. That's what I want to do. So yeah, the way I play the game usually is I, go up to someone and then I just like press 1 like this. And then I can do like 2, 1, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6 should be this one, 7, 8, that type of stuff. So that's how I normally play, actually. It's been a long time since I did play this game, so I don't actually remember exactly what I was supposed to do. But I actually really like playing the game like this. It's quite a lot of fun. I do have like a mouse that's like, got buttons on the side and everything, but I don't know. It's just something about just having gestures makes it way more, I don't know, fun for me. I tried playing Guild Wars 2 in the same way, but it didn't work. You play with a stylus? Yeah, I play with a drawing tablet. So going back to the discussion about Linux versus Windows, the reason I thought that this might be difficult to do in Windows is simply because I don't know how to actually set this up on Windows at all. So I only do it on Linux because that's the only way I know how to do it. And it's been a long time. I actually don't even remember. I don't really even remember what this build was. It's been a long time. So I think I do 4 and then 1, and that will like guarantee that I get a critical hit or something. But yeah, I basically just play the game because I don't know, I enjoy it. It's kind of a fun little thing to do. Oh, you're supposed to use 6, then 5, and then I remember now. Whatever. But anyway, if I were to play this game regularly on stream, what I would probably do is like a particular challenge that I was thinking of recently, which would basically be let's see, something called a signative capture run. So the way that the game works is that, you have a bunch of skills down here, and you get those skills from skill vendors. But one way that you can get the skill is via another skill called signative capture. So what you do is, I just killed a boss over here, and I can use signative capture to steal one of their skills. And so like you get one skill per boss, and the idea is you just play the game, and the only skill you can buy is signative capture. So the only skills you can use are skills that you've captured from someone else. And this goes for your entire team. You and everyone else in your party can only use stolen skills. That would be the thing that I was thinking about doing. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually going to be a fun way to play. It was just something I was thinking of recently. I mean, if you guys want me to do a game on stream, this might be something that I could consider doing in the future. But the truth is, like, every single time I think about doing a gaming stream, I always run into the same problem, which is that, like, for me in particular, I don't know, like, why would I play a game if I could, like, do some programming, which is, like, just as fun, if not more fun, most cases. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I just get into that mode. Universal Paperclips on stream. Yeah, I mean, people have tried to get me into games like that. I haven't gotten into them. I mean, maybe D&D would be fun. We could do D&D. But it's just, I've got a very like select set of games that I enjoy playing. And it's like, if they're outside of that group of games, I don't really enjoy it too much. Okay. Anyway, now that we got that set up, I don't know why I even did that. It was just like a brief side tangent onto Guild Wars. And now I'm actually going to move back to doing programming because I started playing the game and now I don't want to play anymore. So let's go back to programming. Let's go. G&G is a great game. D&D, you mean? Yeah. So if we did D&D, I don't know. I've always kind of wanted to be a dungeon master, even though I don't know how to play the game. I think I've played it a few times, but I kind of Ghosts and Goblins. Is it like Dungeons and Dragons? Gargons and Gungeons. Okay, let's go and close that. We have everything set up, so if I did want to play this game on stream, we could do it relatively easily. So let's go ahead and close that. We're going to set Wacom Absolute again. Absolute. And yeah, we should be good to go. Cool. Happy to do that. But yeah, I guess the reason I did that is because I actually quite like Easy Stroke. I like the workflow. It's actually really nice. Let me turn the music back on. And we're going to go to... what am I going to go to? One second. Let me think here. I want to do this and that, and now we're going to change everything back to being in science and tech. Sorry, that was it. I just wanted to pop in there, make the change, and go back. That was it. 10 minutes. Like I said, it's a Japanese arcade game. Original name is Makaimura. Interesting. So we're going to go here, and let's go to... what should we name it? We'll call Becoming Fractal Research. All right. Misspelled becoming, that's okay. And then down here we're gonna say, okay, back to research. Okay, change this to science and tech. And we're gonna save that. Okay, good to go. All right, we're back to where we belong. I mean, the other thing too is anytime I try to do a gaming stream, I just feel like I'm wasting everybody's time. It's like, I don't know, like it's just so weird. It's not something that I can like just do and be like, wow, this is fun. I enjoy this. Cause like usually if I play a game for like 10 minutes, I'm just super bored myself. And then it's like, I'm really bored and then everyone knows I'm bored. It just doesn't work. Okay. So, what are we going to do next? So, since we have the bug in kernel abstractions basically solved, admittedly, the PR is not fully merged, but the problem is solved, we can now do something really cool. And that is, histograms. I was just like, oh yeah, games are super boring. Yeah, let's talk about histograms. Like, I realize it's like the most boring thing you could possibly go to, but hear me out. Okay, so we've talked about histograms a bunch of times on stream because it's one of those problems that is incredibly straightforward to do on the CPU, but really quite difficult to do on the GPU. And creating code that can execute on both is interesting because I'm interested in doing benchmarks and stuff like that on both the CPU and GPU, just a bunch of different things, So let's talk about it. Histograms. Also, if you're curious about how this fits into the overall scheme of how we become a fractal, all that kind of stuff, do you have a YouTube channel? Your voice sounds great for reviews and critics, or general documentaries. Is it okay? Pie charts are wrong. Okay. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. It is right. One second here. YouTube.com. I guess I can just go up here to my channel, your channel, Wow, my recommends are really annoying. And we go there. As far as the YouTube channel is concerned, it takes me a while to make videos, and I'm just going to keep up that trend of it taking a while to make videos, unfortunately. I really want the next video to be something that, it gets people of all ages excited. I don't know. The point is, I really want my next video to be something that, like, is interesting from a number of different perspectives, not just from this is an interesting video perspective, but also from an academic perspective, from a number of different angles. I want this to be an interesting video. And the idea with this video is I want every single frame of it to be fractally compressed. The reason this is interesting from a number of different perspectives is, one, fractal compression takes about 5 hours per frame right now. I say 5 hours. With modern hardware, it's more like 5 to 10 minutes per frame. But if you're doing a 60 frames per second, you're talking about a lot of time. And so cutting that down to something that's actually manageable is quite interesting already from a just theoretical perspective or an academic perspective, right? And so I'm really interested in essentially like going from where we are right now, which is basically being impossible to generate fractal compression in any feasible way, to creating a video that's like, maybe 5 minutes, 60 frames per second, and every single frame being fractally compressed would be quite cool. So for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about for fractal compression, I'm kind of, in a way, talking about this image up here. So this image is something called a fractal flame. It's a combination of a bunch of different iterated function systems. So what is an iterated function system? For today's stream, we don't have to go too much into it. All you have to know is that a bunch of equations will create some sort of 2, 3 n-dimensional space. So let's go here to the algorithm archive, and I'll give you a link. So let's go to algorithm archive. 1 second here. Yank, and there. Okay, so from a set of equations, like this guy in here, you can then create the Sierpinski triangle. From another set of equations, you can create the Barnsley-Fern. And again, go to the article if you want more details for that. What the fractal flame does is it combines a bunch of these iterated function systems together. So we have one function system that creates a heart, another that creates a swirl pattern, another that kind of distributes everything in space. If we add a sinusoidal pattern to it as well, it becomes dark in the middle and creates this eyeball pattern. There's a bunch of different things that we can do to this fractal flame pattern. And in principle, if we choose the right functions and we look at this in the right way, you can actually recreate any image from a set of equations. So the idea with fractal compression is to kind of take that and run with it. If you can create any image from a set of equations, as long as you know the correct set of equations, then the trick is to, 1, generate the fractal as fast as possible, which is what we're working on today, and 2, to create that set of equations as fast as possible. So the creation of the fractal from the set of equations is the decompression step. The act of creating the set of equations from an image is the compression step. The compression step is notably really slow. We're going to be trying to use machine learning, maybe some different forms of that to make that step really quick. But today, we're not working on that part. We're just working on the creation of the fractal part. And so again, with fractal compression, you start with an image, you turn it into a set of equations, and then you go back from the set of equations to the fractal image. That's how it works. So it's not quite like a Mandelbrot zoom or anything like that. Shouldn't it be possible to cut processor speed needed because it repeats? Not exactly. So the way this works is actually remarkably different than, we don't care about the self-similarity. It is a fractal basically only in namesake. Though in principle, it is, the iterated function systems create fractals. They create attractors, which are called fractals. We don't care about anything else other than, we don't care that it's self-similar. In fact, it's not self-similar, really. We don't care that it's, a 2.5 dimensional object or a non-integer dimensional object. This is all stuff we don't care about. The thing that we care about is that we can go from an equation to an n-dimensional space. And that act. So in some sense, when I say becoming a fractal, to be fair, I'm not technically becoming a fractal, right? Like I'm becoming an iterated function system, which happens to be done via the fractal flame method. So you could always make the argument that, if I say I'm becoming a fractal, you're not actually, you're becoming a set of equations, which is still cool, but it's like kind of, I don't know, I don't really know what to call myself, become math? I don't know, how am I going to explain that one? No matter what I say, it's hard to explain. So yeah, unfortunately, the way this works is by essentially creating a huge number of objects. So here we had maybe 10 million or 100 million different points, and all of these points are then thrown into little bins or little pixels. And so if you have a lot of pixels put together, you have a high density, kind of like in this area in here. So you have a high density of pixels put together, like right here. And then you have a low density, for example, out here or something. And the idea is that, we throw these all into a bunch of pixels, and that process is done via binning, which is the same process as histogramming. Cosmic 47. Let's see. I must have 36 mathematicians who forgot. I think this is fine. Allow? Wait, I don't understand why that one's not fine. Let me see. I must have 36 mathematicians who forgot the minus sign because those who have sinned harbor a strong power within. Also, I must keep 14 derivatives of z raised to the squared plus c in mind. I'll engrave these words onto my VOD so I won't forget them. Whatever is born will awaken. It will show interest in the 14 words that my trusted friends will utter. Lastly, I need an appropriate location. North, 28, 24 west. Go there and wait for the new moon. That's when I become a fractal. Are you quoting me? Also, why 14? So for some reason 14 words was caught. I don't understand why. As a JoJo reference? Oh, that's fair. I don't understand a thing. Neither do I, but fair enough. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, maybe you don't understand a thing of what I said. Sorry about that. So, again, I would encourage you to read the Algorithm Archive article here for the iterative function systems. Today, we're just working on a small bit of this. So we're working on the histogram part of this, making that fast on parallel processors. So let's say, right, what is a histogram, right? That's the first question. What we're going to do is we're going to draw a bunch of dots, right? So we're going to have a bunch of blue dots over here, a bunch of green dots over here. I don't know how many, and a bunch of red dots over here. A histogram is asking the question, how many of X color of dots do we have? So if I do this in magenta and I do a coordinate system here, what we're going to do is we're going to create, a set of bars here. So this is how many blues we have. This is how many greens we have. And this is how many reds we have right over here, right? So the idea here is that we're going to basically turn everything into a histogram by, basically binning all of the dots into pixels, right? So it's kind of the same problem, right? And so what we want to do is make the creation of the histogram really fast. Are you going to write a fractal without a for loop? Right, so that's the next step that we're working on. So one big problem with iterated function systems is that they're naturally iterated, i.e. they go one step at a time. If you're doing something in parallel, you don't want iterated things, you want parallel things. So one way in which we're going to approach this problem is first implementing what's known as high performance iterated function systems, which is, so far as I know, the fastest form of iterated function systems on GPU hardware. And then after that, we're going to implement our own method, which I think can be done in parallel. From what I see, from the method I've come up with, it looks like it can be done in parallel. So it's a new method to do the fractal solving that ignores the iteratedness of the fractal generation and instead does things via just counting along a breadth first search tree, or counting through a tree in a breadth first search fashion using an approximate counting algorithm, which is why we actually covered approximate counting just a second ago. I forced my resolution to be so low that I read that word as hellograms. Oh, histograms, right. Okay. So let's kind of think about this a bit differently. So instead of having red, green, and blue balls, we're actually going to have a bunch of numbers here. So something like this. Pretend I didn't press the minus sign on any of these guys. So there's no minus sign here. Okay. So we have a string of numbers, and we're interested in figuring out how many fours, how many ones, how many twos we have, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to create a histogram. And here we're going to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0, right? And basically every time we find a 4, we put it into the 4 bin. So we find a 4 here, and we put it into the 4 bin there. We find a 3 here, we put it into the 3 bin here. We find a 9 there, we put it into the 9 bin there, so on and so forth. The problem comes when doing this in parallel. In parallel, you'll have you'll have two different processors kind of doing this at the same time. So you have 4-bit, 5-bit, 3-bit, 8-bit, so on and so forth. You kind of keep going until eventually you run into a case. Like let's say this thread, one second, this core is trying to write to 4, and this core is also trying to write to 4 at the same time. What happens here is you have a conflict where all of a sudden we have two different cores trying to write to the same location in memory at the same time. This error can be solved in a number of different ways, and we're going to hopefully do two different solutions today. But in essence, we need to find some way to still continue to do this in parallel. I think Meowcat, last time we talked about this, you even mentioned that one way to do this is just to double down on the data, to have two different data arrays and combine them later, which is one solution. Another solution is to serialize just this one step. Whenever there's a conflict, you then force that to happen one at a time instead of in parallel. And that's kind of what we're working on. So the first one is the serialization, and the next one is the multiple memory approach. And we're going to work on both of those today. Hopefully we get them both implemented. If I'm honest, I think we're only going to get like one step in. Mutex lock, maybe. Fractal in assembly, let's go. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. First thing we're going to do is go back to the code that we were writing a second ago and just make sure that we can send data back and forth to shared memory. If you guys remember, I'm sure most people weren't here, but a few days ago we did try this, and we failed miserably because we found a bug in kernel abstractions that basically made it so we couldn't cast things onto integers. We solved that problem. It's now fixed, and now we're moving on to the next step, which is actually getting stuff done now that the bug is solved. In about an hour, we're actually going to take a step back, and we're going to work on algorithm archive stuff again. I would like to talk a little bit about the how do I put this? Logo design today, and then that will be the algorithm archive stuff for today. So we got something merged, and then we'll also work on the logo stuff, and that's the stuff that we'll do for the algorithm archive. Okay, so let's go back to the source code and see what we can do. I'm gonna go back to this one. I like that image best. That's just the image we'll have in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, and again, guys, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, anything like that, feel free to let me know, and I'll totally address it as soon as I see it in chat. So here we're gonna CD. We're gonna CD into projects, Simuleos histograms. Over here we're gonna Control C, CD projects. CD projects, Simuleos, and histograms. Okay, and let's go into the VI minimum working example.jl. So all this is doing, looking at the code here, all this is doing is it's taking a thread ID, and what we're doing is we're creating a shared tile, which is a size 100, and then we're basically copying to the shared tile. Here we're saying shared tile of TID is equal to A, and then we're copying back out. That's all this is doing, and we're going to check this out. I don't know what is the serialization, but lock is like you will prevent access and wait for it to be released. Oh, right. So it's not quite that. Instead of preventing access, the way that this will work is we actually will allow all threads to write to it at the same time. And then after all threads write to it, we're actually going to tag the location in memory with the thread that wrote to it last, and then we'll disallow that thread from writing to it next, and then we do the iteration again, and basically we just basically allow all the threads to keep working until all of them are no longer allowed to write to that location in memory. So it's not like we're disallowing. I guess we are disallowing, but it's not like we're like, oh, only one thread can write on this. It's like all threads can write on this, but after, the slowest one cannot write on it next iteration. So it's like, I don't know, something like that. So it's similar, but not quite exactly. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna open up Julia, and I'm just gonna include minimum working example.jl just to make sure it's running. Oh, also, there's one other thing I want to talk about. Ordinal markup is impossibly boring. You've mentioned that like 3 times already in chat. No, multiple times, like 10 times. I'm sorry about that. Like, if you're the one that's playing the game, man. My father was always, so the thing about games is I always get mad playing games. I don't want to, but for some reason, when you play the game, like, okay, you're playing Mario, right? And you fall down a hole. Right? There's no reason to get angry at that. But whenever you get mad at the game, you're not getting mad at the game. And this is something most people don't understand. You're not mad that Mario fell down the hole. You're mad that you wasted so much time, and then Mario still died at the end, and now you've wasted an hour and a half and didn't even get to beat Bowser in the end, right? Like, that's the feeling I always get when playing games. Like, it's like, it's like I wasted an hour doing nothing. Oh, great, When do you need to add inbounds? It's not necessarily write to an array. You want to write at inbounds anytime you access an element in an array. And the reason you want to do that is because otherwise Julia will try to do its own bounds checking. And if Julia does its own bounds checking, it's just slow. So if you add at inbounds, you're telling the Julia compiler that, hey, we've double checked. This is inbounds. You don't have to check it for me. That's all it is. Okay, so we see that the test passed, which means this is working. Now we're going to take a step back and we're going to look at the code that we tried writing the other day that is impossibly broken, and we're going to write a simple histogram method before going any further. Let me get some water. Man, I have a slight headache, which happens when I stream sometimes. Okay, I do actually want to very quickly talk about one more thing. I talk about this too much, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But before continuing, I think this is a good place to talk about it. Journal new page before. Yesterday, I made, and earlier today, we talked about the difference between Linux and Windows, and I talked about making a video about me using Windows for the first time in 15 years, and I thought maybe that'd be a good video. Some people would definitely like that. It would be clickbaity in certain circles. It seems fine. But again, I'm really trying to make it so the upcoming videos are just something that people have not seen before. It's a new area of research that we push that other people haven't pushed before. And even if it's not a new area of research, at least it's something interesting that people have not seen before, right? It might not be publishable, but it's still new. And this is stuff that I really want to focus on when it comes to my YouTube videos, my research, everything moving forward. I think it's really, really important to just show like why research is cool. And also to show the process of research to a large group of people. I think that's really important. And I think that, it's not currently shown on YouTube. It's not currently shown on Twitch. So I think it's really important for someone to do that. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So with that said, right now, I'm probably going to be publishing a new video, hopefully before 2022. Like, genuinely speaking, this video is going to take a very long time for me to make, probably a few months. And, I'm already a few months behind my upload schedule. I really should have uploaded something last month. But, I mean, genuinely speaking, I want this next video to be something that's just, like, amazing, that really knocks people's socks off. And, I'm not... the only way to do that is to put your time in. And so it's going to take some time. And so I just want to let everyone know it's going to be a few months before the next video comes out. And that's just how it's going to be, Do you know biochemistry? I know a little bit of biochemistry. Also, I know the guy that wanted to rewrite ordinal markup because the original dev decided to stop working on it and it's not going anywhere. So I'm stuck with that. Interesting. Also, there are other incremental games that take months to complete, like Antimatter Dimensions and Distance Incremental. I mean, I don't know very much about all of them. Played all of them. Good games. I'm quite interested in the fact that there's so many people in the community that are interested in this type of thing. Like Ziu, Gibbous, and a few other people even mentioned that they'd played it before. I don't know. I find that kind of interesting. So anyway, I'm hoping to get this out in December of 2021. That's my goal. That's what I'm hoping for. Do you know about research on gene therapy? I don't know very much about that. The biochemistry stuff that I know was from doing computational biophysics and stuff like that. Computational biophysics. I took a biophysics class in high school. I took a biophysics class in college. I also took a biochemistry class in college because I actually went through a pre-medical physics degree, which meant I went through all of the biology and chemistry classes required for med school, but I also got a physics degree as well. And then I ended up doing computer science stuff. So, I don't know how I got here. But it was one reason why I really liked OIST, because it was so open and, interdisciplinary. And as someone who knew a bit of bio and chem and physics and, math and computer science, it kind of felt right for me. But yeah, at the same time, I do genuinely feel that I probably should have focused on something different than physics. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. As far as biochemistry is concerned, I don't know enough about it to say, hey, this is good or bad biochemistry research. Sorry about that. I was going to say, I wish they had biophysics at my high school. They barely had physics. They barely had physics at my high school. To be fair, we had AP physics as well, but like it wasn't required and you didn't have to do it. So rocket scientists joke with, come on, it's not computational biophysics. I'm pretty sure they don't, because computational biophysics, like, I don't know where the whole like, oh, come on, it's not rocket science thing came in, because I don't know. Like, is rocket science the be-all, end-all of interesting things to do? I mean, who cares about space? It's kind of a genuinely useless thing. Whew, I say, and everyone leaves the chat. Man, I'm biased. I'm so sorry. I should not have said that. But, I mean, you guys know my opinion on that. I've mentioned it many times before. There are certain things that I just don't understand, and space is one of them. I don't understand why people are interested in it. It's like string theory. Why are people interested in this? I don't know. I fundamentally don't know, you know? What the heck, literally unsubscribed? I'm sorry. That sentence set a new record for bad take density. Wait, which sentence in particular? Because, like, honestly, I don't know. I find space super boring. Like, I know, I've said this multiple times. Like, I've made no secret of this. I don't understand why it's interesting. I also don't understand why string theory is interesting. I don't understand why biology or chemistry are interesting. I don't understand why a bunch of things are interesting. Now, that doesn't mean people shouldn't do it. But, like, people should do it because other people do find it interesting. And those people who do find it interesting should be the ones pushing the boundary of human knowledge in those areas. But that's not me. I don't know. I don't know anything about these areas. So I'm pretty sure rocket scientists joke that it's not brain surgery. That's fair. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, let's go into VI histograms.jl. Then what do neurosurgeons joke with? Probably rocket science, right? I mean, I don't know. Must be computational biophysics. To be fair, I don't know. Anyway, cannot relate to that on any level because I find literally everything interesting. Yeah, that's fair. At some stage when I was younger, I used to try to convince myself of the same thing. I used to be like, oh, wow, biology is interesting, or physics is interesting, or chemistry is interesting. I genuinely did. And I would always find a way to justify that fact. I would say, physics is interesting because you have Monte Carlo and you have, molecular dynamics and you have, all of these different methods to calculate physics simulations. And, I'd say that, biology is interesting because, like if you try to put this on a cluster, how exactly do you simulate this and that? And like, you know what I mean? Like I would say that these are interesting because I could find interesting problems in those fields. But the problem was what I realized at some time is I actually don't think the biology research is the interesting part. I don't think the chemistry research or the physics research is the interesting part. I think the interesting part is the fact that these fields allow for new computational techniques, and the computational techniques are the interesting bit, So that was what I realized during the PhD. Before the PhD, I was like, oh man, everything's interesting. But during the PhD, I realized it's only interesting because I'm so interested in the computation. Let me take a look at this XKCD. I'm going to delete some tabs as well. Okay, open this up. Go over here, paste that down. How can I pick a major? I'm interested in everything. Can I major in the universe? Okay, first, I'll need papers on every European trade summit that did not result in an agreement, then spend a year memorizing every microprocessor instruction set ever used on a production chip. What I meant was I just want to read Malcolm Gladwell books and drink. Okay. I don't know who Malcolm Gladwell is, but yeah. Biolabs are not accessible, so it's harder to do, unlike computer labs. Deleting extra tabs so that Universal Paperclips runs better. That's exactly. You guys don't see it, but I actually have another browser up in the background that's running Universal Paperclips. Right. But I mean, that's the thing too. Like, if people talk to me about copyright law, look, there are a whole bunch of people that genuinely don't care about copyright law. I do. I find it super interesting. But like, you start talking to me about, gaming. I'm like, okay, games are interesting. Like, and again, they're interesting in the same way that, I find biology interesting. It's interesting because I like game physics. There's something interesting about that. But, if you just show me a new game, like, I don't know, like Guild Wars is interesting because of all the combination of skills. Guild Wars 2 is not interesting because it's one-dimensional, I care deeply about copyright law, but like in a political way. It could be fair. I mean, again, there was the whole Truth Social or whatever that is deeply breaking open source software restrictions or whatever restrictions, licenses. I say deeply, but it is deeply. It's definitely breaking open source copyright or open source license licensing terms. Okay, so let's Let's go. We're gonna take this one step at a time. Universal paperclips, because holy cow, incremental with a story and not abstract concept like most of the other incrementals. What? Look, a lot of my friends got really into paperclips, like really into it. That and Cookie Clicker, both of them got really into. I'm not making sentences today. I'm trying, but I'm failing. But yeah, I understand. Like a lot of people are really into it. And like the thing about gaming is, I mean, a lot of people are interested in it for the same reason people are interested in books, right? Like, I don't know. It's interesting, I guess. But like, I mean, there's a reason I don't read fantasy books anymore. I find writing books fun. I don't find reading books fun. You know, making games, some of it's fun, but a lot of it's just not, you know? And I think part of me kind of getting older is me also realizing that I'm not interested in everything. There's a lot of things that I don't care about, and they're not interesting from an academic perspective, but they're also not interesting just in terms of stuff that I want to do, you know? Like Antimatter Dimensions is literally just dimensions producing more dimensions, and antimatter like what? I mean, right, like, so there was this, like, for example, the other day I made this argument. There was an ocean conservation project that came to me the other day and said, hey, we would like you to make a video about oceans and maybe talk about oceans. And I'm like, oh, actually, I care a lot. I care a lot about the ocean. Not only because I love swimming, but also because I really want to help the environment. This is something I'd love to support. But they were like, make an ocean video. And I was like, okay, well, what's interesting about the ocean? And I couldn't find a single thing that I was like, I want to do this project and it's related to the ocean. I mean, there was like the AI swim coach. But even then, I'm like, I'm not super into this. I'm only doing it for clicks, you know? And that realization that it's like, you know, honestly, I'm just making videos for clicks was like, you know, I don't want that to be where I'm at. You know, I don't mind writing papers for writing paper's sake, because I honestly feel like at least a paper is useful. But YouTube videos are kind of like, I don't know. It feels bad when you realize, you know, you're really just looking for a clicky video, you know? And so with the Ocean Conservation Project, I was like, I genuinely can't find anything interesting about the ocean. And I spent a full day doing nothing but brainstorming ideas, and I couldn't find anything. I was like, look, there's turbulence simulations. I guess those are interesting to some extent, but they just weren't. I just couldn't find anything that I was like, wow, that's amazing. We got to do that, you know? Meanwhile, I was like, a 4D galaxy simulation is interesting. Why? Because doing a 4-dimensional Barnes Hut simulation is interesting, you know? Do I care about the 4-dimensional galaxy thing? Nah, not really. It's more of a front, so other people can find it interesting as well. But man, you know, doing an n-dimensional Barnes Hut simulation, I think would be quite fun. Okay. Anyway, I've been rambling for a while. I'm so sorry about that. I should have put the Ramboleo screen up. I didn't. Whatever. Let's take a look at this code. We're going to get something basic working. That's the goal, just to get something basic working. I am also realizing that right now I'm probably not going to be able to stream for too much longer, and I'm deciding what I want to do about that. I'm getting quite hungry. So what I might do is I might take a break and come back in like an hour. I'm getting hungry and I have a headache. I know this sounds really lame, but like, hear me out. I need to like be careful and like make sure that I'm actually, you know, getting work done and being productive and all that kind of stuff. So I think what I'm going to do, I've been streaming for 2 hours. I'm going to take an hour break, and then I'm going to come back in an hour. I realize that means we didn't do too much on stream. Wow, we got a lot done, actually. We got the kernel abstractions PR in. We got an algorithm archive PR done, but I genuinely need a break right now, and I'm going to take that break. So I'm going to take an hour break. I'm going to come back at 5 o'clock, and we're going to do another algorithm archive PR, and then we're going to hopefully do some of the histogram stuff. I'm so sorry, guys. I just need an hour. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks, guys. Peace.